Police arrested the suspect without resistance 2 miles from the school.
That's
the
good.
gunman was Nicholas Cruz.
Bro, look at the guy. He looked like he would shoot somebody. He looked like he would shoot kids. Look at him. Them big glasses. Look at his nose. And look at his ear. And he got a buzz cut. He looked like he would kill somebody. 100%. Worst school shooting in U.S. history.
Morning of April 16th, 2007, at Virginia Polytechnical Institute and State University in Blacksburg, 23-year-old Sung Hoi Cho, a senior at Virginia Tech, stepped onto the 4th floor of the West Ambler Johnston Hall, a student dormitory.
By his name, I already know he's gonna just... You hear his name? Tong Glong, Jing Long, Gling Long, Zing Long. I'm not racist.
He used his handgun and shot 2 students inside the building at close range. Both victims died at the scene.
Why?
After the shooting, Cho left the dormitory and disappeared from the area. After the attack, the investigators later identified a pair of shoes and jeans in the dorm room of a student named Sung Hoi Cho, who had purchased 2 handguns and large amounts of ammunition weeks earlier. Within the next 2.5 hours, Cho returned to his room to rearm himself.
I understand why people do this, bro. I'm gonna kill people. Why leave the biggest evidence in the world so police could easily just find you, bro? If you gonna do it, bro, do it smart, not stupid. Wait, not condone violence. Please do not, buddy.
He mailed a package to NBC News that contained pictures, digital video footage, and documents explaining his motives. At about 9:40 a.m., Cho returned to campus and walked into Norris Hall, an engineering building. He chained the main entrances from the inside, blocking escape routes. He then moved through classrooms and fired repeatedly at students and professors. He called emergency services and tried to escape. Police rushed to the scene but had to force their way through the chain doors. As police closed in, the gunman entered a classroom and ended his own life by gun. The 2 assaults left 32 people dead and dozens of others injured.
Why do serial killers do this, bro? I genuinely don't understand serial killers, bro. Like, I really don't I don't understand why. If you go ahead and kill somebody, why you kill yourself? Why? What was the point of killing 32 people? Why? You don't gain nothing out of that. What was the reason?
During the investigation, the police found a note in Cho's room in which he criticized rich kids, and he was obsessed with a female student named Emily Jane Hilscher. It makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. The reason why he did it is because he liked a girl, but that girl keep rejecting him. So you know what he said? He said, screw everything. I'm gonna come in here and shoot everybody. That's why he shot all them kids. That's the reason. Got it.
Enraged after she rejected his romantic overtures.
Yup. She rejected that boy. She rejected him. She rejected him. That's why he came and shot everybody.
Elementary school. Around 9 a.m. on December 14th, 2012, Adam Lanza, who had a mental health problem, shot and killed his mother, 20-year-old Nancy.
What? You had a mental health problem and you went to shoot your mother. How in the right mind do you think like this, bro? I would never in my life shoot my mom. Never, bro. I want to shoot my dad. I want to shoot nobody in general, bro.
Nancy Lanza at their Newtown home. Then he drove to Sandy Hook Elementary School in his mother's car. He was wearing black clothing, yellow earplugs, sunglasses, a black hat, and a green utility vest. Lanza carried a semi-automatic rifle and handguns. He walked toward the front entrance.
How in the world do you get access to these guns, bro? Yeah, you could obviously go to the gun shop or whatever, but like, ain't these gun shops, you have to have like a gun license to get these type of guns? Like, how in the world these people are getting access to these guns?
And firing, shattering glass, and forcing his way inside the school. School principal Don Hochsprung and school psychologist Mary Scherthlach, initially unaware that the sounds were gunfire, stepped into the hallway to investigate. Encountered Lanza and were fatally shot, while teacher Natalie Hammond was seriously wounded but survived. Lanza briefly entered the main office area before proceeding toward first-grade classrooms. In classroom 8, he killed substitute teacher Lauren Rosso and 15 students.
Why did he do that? A regular substitute person just came just to do their job, and you shoot 15 kids? Imagine how those fathers felt. Imagine how they felt.
Hid in the bathroom and called the police. He then entered classroom 10, where teacher Victoria Soto attempted to protect her students. But Lanza opened fire, killing Soto.
Oh my gosh.
Murphy and 5 students. Several children managed to escape during pauses in the shooting. After the shooting, Lanza returned to room number 10, where he ended his life with a handgun.
Why do you kill people and you end your own life? Why? What was the point?
20 students and 6 school staff members were killed. The police arrived shortly afterward, but it was too late. The shooting had already ended.
Yeah. Imagine how those police people felt, bro. Imagine how they felt. Like, imagine being a cop or walking into like 50 people dead and it's already too late. All you smell is gunfire, you smell gunpowder, you smell all type of stuff. Imagine being that one cop.
After the investigations, the police still couldn't find any clues or motives for the perpetrator.
Right.
Columbine High School.
Wait, he escaped? So he came inside that school, shot them kids, and he escaped.
On April 20th, 1999, at around 11:20 a.m., Harris and Klebold arrived at school armed with firearms and homemade explosives, including pipe bombs, aerosol canisters, and 2 propane bombs.
Why?
They placed 2 large propane bombs in the school cafeteria, timed to detonate during the busiest lunch period. However, both bombs failed to explode.
Okay.
When the plan failed at 11:19 a.m., they began firing outside the school, killing 2 students and wounding several others.
Yeah, those people was ruthless, bro. The fact that you placed a big, whatever that thing is, to detonate, he wanted the school to blow up. And why do school shooters like to kill kids? We have no idea why.
They entered the building, moving toward the hallways and classrooms while firing randomly and throwing smaller explosive devices.
Why?
Teacher Dave Sanders began warning students and directing evacuations before being shot and seriously wounded in a hallway.
Damn.
The police quickly moved to the scene, and Harris and Klebold exchanged fire with responding Sheriff Deputy Neil Gardner outside the school.
Right.
Neither side was hit. They then entered the building through the west entrance, moving through hallways while firing sporadically and throwing pipe bombs.
Okay.
At 11:29 a.m., they entered the school library. Over approximately 7 minutes, Harris and Klebold killed 10 students and wounded 12 others at close range.
Why?
The shooters moved between rows of tables and fired beneath desks after leaving the library at 11:36 a.m.
Okay.
They set a small fire. At approximately 12:02 p.m., Harris and Klebold returned to the library, now largely empty except for 2 critically injured students.
Right.
After a brief exchange of gunfire with police outside at 12:08 p.m., both attackers ended their own lives.
Bro, what is the reason doing all this chaotic rumbleness and you just gonna kill yourself? Like, I genuinely don't understand that. Like,
the attack resulted in 13 deaths, 12 students and 1 teacher, and more than 20 people were injured. The motives of Harris and Klebold had not yet been revealed by the police. It also led to what became known as the Columbine effect, as later attackers imitated aspects of this massacre.
Yeah, bro.
Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School.
Okay.
On the afternoon of February 14th, 2018, a student appeared at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, armed with a semi-automatic rifle and multiple magazines. At approximately 2:21 p.m., he quickly assembled his weapon at the base of a stairwell and told student Christopher McKenna, who accidentally walked by, "You better get out of here."
I ain't gonna lie, if I was the teacher or whatever and somebody talking about something, "You better get out of here," I would look at that kid and be like, "What do you mean you better get out of here?" But I would have been eyeing that kid from every direction, left, right, up, down, whatever. I would have been eyeing him down.
He entered the first floor hallway. He fatally shot 3 students.
Yeah,
the attacker then fired through the windows of 4 closed classroom doors on the other side of the hallway.
If I was that teacher, I would have ran full flat, gone. You're not catching me, bro.
6 more students and wounding 13 others on the first floor of the building. As fire alarms sounded, students panicked and evacuated into hallways rather than sheltering in place. After moving through all 3 floors of the building and expending large amounts of ammunition, the gunman stopped shooting, abandoned his weapon, and escaped the scene by blending in with the fleeing students.
Are you no. There's no way he dropped his gun, he stopped, and he ran to escape, and he blended in with those kids. Yeah, imagine that one particular kid that's just right next to that one killer, like that, the gunman. Like, just imagine, like.
The attack resulted in 17 people being killed, and 18 more were wounded. At about 3:41 p.m., police arrested the suspect without resistance 2 miles from the school.
That's good.
Gunman was Nicholas Cruz.
Bro, look at the guy. He looked like he would shoot somebody. He looked like he would shoot kids. Look at him. Them big glasses. Look at his nose. And look at his ear. And he got a buzz cut. He looked like he would kill somebody. 100%.
A 19-year-old former student who had been expelled for disciplinary reasons. Investigators revealed that Cruz had a documented history of behavioral problems, threats, and contact with law enforcement. In 2022, Cruz was charged with 17 counts of first-degree murder. As a result, Cruz was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
GG's. You did all that just to get life in prison. Now you're cooked. Your life is cooked.
University of Texas Tower. On the 1st of August, 1966, one of the earliest and most shocking mass shootings in American history unfolded at the University of Texas at Austin.
Okay.
At midnight, 25-year-old Charles Whitman drove to his mother's apartment and fatally stabbed her while she slept.
Yo, you killed your mom while she was sleeping? Oh my gosh. Yo. Oh my gosh. Yo, your mother is the person that pushed you, bro. Wipe your butt when you was a baby.
Around 3 a.m., Whitman returned home and stabbed his wife to death in a similar manner.
Yo.
Again, leaving a note describing affection, confusion, and violent thoughts.
Yo.
Later that morning, he withdrew money, purchased multiple firearms, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition from several stores.
Yeah, bro. Genuinely, bro, I feel like the devil would really be taking people's minds, bro. Because there's no way, like, people really have the right minds to go kill people. Like,
he packed his weapons, supplies, and food into a large footlocker.
Yeah, bro.
Disguised in work clothes to appear as a maintenance worker, he drove to the University of Texas campus shortly before noon. At approximately 11:30 a.m., Whitman entered the university's main building, incapacitated a receptionist, and erected a makeshift barricade.
Right.
And killed some at close range before moving on to the observation deck.
Right.
At 11:48 a.m., Whitman began firing from the tower, 231 feet above the ground.
Yo.
For the next 96 minutes, he shot at people across the campus and
Yo.
surrounding streets, killing students, staff, and civilians at distances of up to several hundred yards.
Bro, imagine being that high and able to shoot somebody from that level. Like, bro, that is scary, bro. Imagine those kids, bro. Imagine they just have good lunch or they have a best friend or whatever, bro. And they just having a good time. Next thing you know, you see like one of their friends get shot. Yo, I'm jumping out the window.
Many initially mistook the gunfire for construction noise,
Right.
delaying the realization of an active attack. Officers and armed civilians returned fire from the ground, forcing Whitman to stay low.
Okay.
Eventually, multiple officers ascended the tower. At approximately 1:24 p.m., 2 Austin police officers confronted Whitman on the observation deck and fatally shot him at close range.
Yeah, that's good.
By the time the shooting had ended, Whitman had killed 14 people and wounded more than 30 others.
Yo, so if those people died, bro, this man would have killed like at least like 50 people, bro. Like, this guy's ruthless.
After the investigation, the main motive of the perpetrator was believed to be his psychological issues following his parents' divorce.
What?
This was
What? Bro, just because your parents divorced does not mean you should go out and shoot people, shoot kids for fun. What do you like? What?
considered one of the most horrific shooting incidents in U.S. history. Umpqua Community College. On the morning of October 1st, 2015, in Roseburg, Oregon, 26-year-old perpetrator Christopher Harper Mercer arrived at the Umpqua Community College campus, armed with 6 handguns and a significant amount of ammunition. At approximately 10:38 a.m., the gunman entered a writing class in Snyder Hall and fired a warning shot. Before he opened fire on the other students, he deliberately spared one student's life so that the student could deliver a package from him to the police.
I know that one kid. That one kid probably ran so fast. Like, he spared one kid's life. He probably had the worst trauma school ever in his life. That made no sense what I just said.
Then, Harper Mercer first shot the English professor at point-blank range. He ordered students to stand up and asked, "Are you Christian?" The victim replied yes. He reportedly stated, "Good, because you're a Christian, you're going to see God in just about a second," before shooting.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's obviously common sense, bro. If a school shooter asks me if I'm Christian, in my mind, I'm gonna be like, okay, if he's asking me if I'm a Christian, obviously he probably don't like Jesus, so that's why he probably asked me that. I would have instantly be like, no, I don't like Jesus, but no, deep down, I'm in love with Jesus.
At 10:44, police arrived at the hallway of Snyder Hall. Harper Mercer fired several shots at the officers. They fired 3 shots in return, hitting him once in the right side.
That's good.
Harper Mercer retreated and fatally ended his own life inside the classroom.
The
attack left 9 people dead and 9 others wounded. Christopher was diagnosed with a mental illness right after that. A total of 14 firearms were later recovered in connection with him, all of which had been purchased legally because he did not have a diagnosis of mental illness. His family background was clean. Following the tragedy, the perpetrator's father, Ian Mercer, appeared on television and sparked significant controversy by blaming the massacre 100% on American gun laws.
Facts.
How his son, who suffered from mental health issues, was able to acquire such a large arsenal.
Facts.
If Christopher had not been able to get guns, this wouldn't have happened.
Facts. That's a good father, because how in the world are you able to get guns, bro?
West Side Middle School. On the night of March 23, 1998, Mitchell Johnson and Andrew Golden stole 9 guns and 2,000 bullets from Golden's grandfather.
2,000 bullets? Why? And why does the grandfather have all these type of bullets? What is he going to shoot?
On the morning of March 24, 1998, in Jonesboro, Arkansas, the 2 boys, Mitchell Johnson and Andrew Golden, deliberately missed their school bus and instead traveled by van to the nearby Westside Middle School.
Okay.
Shortly after 12:30 p.m., at the beginning of the 5th class period, Golden pulled the school's fire alarm, while Johnson had already positioned firearms in a wooded area outside the building.
Yeah, bro.
After activating the alarm, Golden ran back to the woods, joining Johnson. As students and teachers evacuated the building, the 2 boys opened fire from the concealed position.
Yeah, bro.
Children and teachers fled from the school.
Like, bro, this is not Call of Duty, bro. You cannot just respawn, bro. Like,
the 2 perpetrators opened fire. At first, the students were confused because they thought it was just a drill, and the loud sound sounded like fireworks. As gunfire continued and some students were lying inert on the schoolyard, others who evacuated students were directed back into the school's gymnasium. Several injured victims were pulled back inside by teachers and students after doors automatically locked due to the fire alarm system.
Right.
The attack left 5 people dead, 4
Bro.
students and 1 teacher. Shannon Wright, who shielded a wounded student with her body. 9 students and 1 teacher were wounded.
RIP to those kids and students, bro. Like, bro, nobody should have a death like this, bro. Those gunmen, those school shooters should not be here, bro. Alright, YouTube, that's the end of the video. If y'all did enjoy that video, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notification. I'll catch you on the next video. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Hey,